As you know, Metrino Esports, they may have come second, but Mystery Gaming, they came first. And speaking of Mystery Gaming, here we have him in the top left-hand corner of Babylon. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Protoss representing Metrino Esports. It is Astrea. Here we go. Now, unfortunately, these players missed each other. Well, I mean, they kind of missed each other. This is a rematch. I was just double checking the finals of Code A of WTL, and both Bunny and Astrea, Metrino Esports and Mystery Gaming, they met in the finals. They met at the grand finals. It went all the way to the ace match, and in the ace match, the teams fielded their ace players, and at the time, I thought that it was going to be Astrea versus Ragnarok, but no, it was Astrea versus Bunny. And in that best of one, Bunny did win. He did come out victorious. Bunny did take down Astrea, and Bunny won it all for his team, for Mystery Gaming. They are the Code A champions. Can Astrea get his revenge? You know, that last, that ace match was the best of one. It was only a best of one, so there's not much that we can really get from it, other than, of course, the fact that Bunny can take it to Astrea. So we'll see if Astrea can bring it all back here, as he is going for a proxy gateway. Here we go. Here we go. Astrea going for a gate into Cybercore Expand. It does have a pylon across the map. This should be for a gateway, and there we go. Gateway is on the way. Astrea, he's going to be chronoing out his first unit. A second unit across the map, and his goal here, no, as he gets scattered. Oh, the probe gets scattered. Does Bunny realize? Yeah, he is going to check. I was going to say that this is designed to punish the economic opener of Bunny, going for the gate expand. This is designed to apply pressure to the natural base and to, you know, get economic damage and wreak some havoc, but alas, it does get spotted, does get found out. Bunny is aware. Adept is making its way across the map. Astrea, he wants to try to keep this up and running. The gateway is about to finish. And I think this Adept should save the pylon. Yeah, pylon is going to be saved. Gateway is done. We have a second Adept on the way. But at least Bunny knows what's going on. Like, he knows what's coming. And Bunny has a bunker set up here on the low ground, getting into a 1-1-1 setup. Working towards, I imagine, a Cyclone. Yep, there we go. Cyclone is on the way. And we'll see what Astrea can get done here. Now, with these Adepts, he can shade past the bunker. He can shade past the bunker, get into the mineral line, and take control of the natural. Oh, but we have more Marines popping out. And Astrea doesn't want to throw away his units. He waits for another warp in. We are now up to 6 Adepts. And that is enough to go toe-to-toe with these Marines. They're going to be shading in. The boys are forced off the mineral line, and we do commit to the shade. We're going to focus down as much as we can. We get a couple of Marines. The Cyclone comes out just in time. And good luck on. 2 Adepts fall. Oh, a third Adept as well. That is 3 Adepts for 2 SCVs. Not even that many. Very nicely done. Once the Adepts get shoot away, then we mule. Then Bunny can actually start mining properly here from his natural. And very well handled. Very well handled. Across the map, Reaper goes in, and it is a Robo Opener from Astrea. Bold move. Interesting choice. A very different PvT we're seeing this time. Very different. So with this Robo Opener, we can rush into Fast Colossus. We can rush into Faster Disruptors, but here comes the drop. Cyclone moves out across the map. Good at juggling with that prison to break the lock-on. But that does go down. We force a recall as well. Bringing everything back home, and we should have enough to force this back. But Bunny gets a full scout. It does see the robo now. There's ups and downsides to this. One, Astrea, he gets much faster Colossus. Much faster splash damage here, these high-tech units. The downside is that he doesn't have as much map control. He doesn't have Phoenixes, he doesn't have Blink Stalkers. As a result, Bunny can abuse him. That's why this drop is doing so much damage, because we can't really keep up with Blink Stalkers or with Phoenixes, because neither one is here. Just because of the opener, just because of the Tekka choice of Bunny. He is trying to keep some pressure on, though. He's moving out with this Prism. Moving out with some Adepts. And Bunny, he's ready in the natural, he's not ready in the main. One SCV goes down. We barely get a second SCV as well. You know, a couple of workers here and there is nice. Oof, a big lock-on doesn't quite get the War Prism, but gets a lot of damage on it. Of course, with Bunny's attention at home, Astrea can finally expand. He's taking his third, working on his Colossi, extended Thermal Lance. Now we have a Twilight Council, now we have Charge. Of course, it's late, but it's on the way nonetheless. An interesting choice to go for Charge, by the way, because we still don't have a secure way to keep up with drop play. A bold move by Astrea. In a head-to-head fight, Charge can fare better and he can snowball out of control. As Bunny is moving out with that one medevac. Going to be scouting more than anything. Threatening maybe an overreaction from Astrea. As the drop does confirm the timing on the third. Ooh, and does come across the army. Medevac is going to go down. A bit of miscontrol from Bunny. Thankfully, there was nothing in it, but that should not have happened. But here we go. Bunny is moving out. Nice lock on. I'm loving these High Templar as well. Templar Archives is done. There is no Storm, but they can feedback that Raven, which is going to be very important. If the Raven gets the disables off, then I think Bunny can take a really strong fight. Meanwhile, drop comes into the main base, shield battery goes down, and again, Astrea, he can't keep up with the drops. He's losing a lot in the main. At the same time, here comes the main army at the third base. The tank is in range. Big feedback on the Raven. Disables are not available. Astrea can maybe take a fight, but that Nexus is getting very low. Here comes the reinforcements. Tank will go down, but a second tank does join the fight. And a third. Bunny is being forced back. The drop in the main has been cleaned up. The positioning! No! Big tank shots. Oh, they take down the High Templar. Tanks do go down. Both armies do trade with each other. That was a little bit messy, but Astrea does hold. Like, it would have been huge. It would have been massive if Bunny had killed this Nexus. It got so very low. On top of that, Astrea, he lost 9 probes in the main. But he held onto his third. He held onto his Colossi. Honestly, I feel like this game came down to the feedback. If he didn't feedback the Raven, that would have been it. It would have been over. Here we go. Astrea now with the map control, but honestly, Bunny has the better economy. We have an even base count. Bunny slightly behind in workers, but with mules, that more than makes up for it. He did lose his tanks, though. His tank count was reset, so that is going to force Bunny to stay back a little bit longer. Astrea trying to get a fourth. Storm is done. 2 High Templar in that Prism. Suddenly, Bunny has a lot more to worry about. There's High Templar all over the place. Oh, the High Templar, no! Not enough for Storm. It is not going to be focused down. He's going for the base, and he's going to get it. Wow, the base will go down. Astrea knocked down to a 2 base economy. Ay, ay, ay. At least he held on to the High Templar. But did lose the third. We still don't have Blink, by the way. As Bunny's going to be rotating over towards the 4th base. Storm is done! Bigs, oh my god. Massive storms on the army. Bunny losing a big chunk of Marines. At the same time, a storm jump into the mineral line, and oh my god. A good chunk of SCVs go down as well. That was 8 SCVs to those 2 drops, to those 2 High Templar. But it looks like the Prism is going to be hunted down. We can see Bunny doesn't want to be pulled out of position. Prism will fall. Yo, do we land the Vikings? Up. Does scan ahead of time, does spot the army. And Bunny, his macro has been insane. We were talking about it earlier, but he was ahead in economy already. After killing the 3rd base, he just extended that lead. With that lead, he is up 30 supply. Bunny getting out of control despite being up in supply, though. Storms can make up for that. As a High Templar does get sniped. Zealot Rabbi comes in. And it is going to force Bunny's attention at home. But he has reinforcements. He's focusing on the main fight. 6 High Templar with Astrea's army. He's out of position. He doesn't see. He doesn't know. Was not aware of Bunny's angle of attack, and he gets on top of the base. Tanks are within range, and Astrea can't engage. He cannot push in. Big storms. Oh my god, massive storms actually. But the Colossi are falling to the Vikings. The base falls to the tanks. Astrea just out of position, could not fight here. As he goes for another counterattack, but Bunny, he keeps his reinforcements at home. He has enough to deal with this. He's going to be losing some SCVs, don't get me wrong. But he killed the base, pushing into the main. Cybercore is going to be going down. Bunny is expanding towards the north. He's trying to get another base up and running. For another run by as well. Bit of a desperation move. The Robo's depowered. Aye. Won't be seeing any more Colossi. Bunny catches the army. Big EMP on the High Templar. 1 storm gets off. But that'll be the only storm for Astrea. As Bunny's just waiting for his reinforcements. There's another High Templar coming back. It's also getting ready for a surround. But as Bunny holds onto this position, he sends his reinforcements to the top right. He finds the 4th. Takes down the middle line, and he's just starving Bunny out. Sorry, starving Astrea out. As Astrea goes for a 360 surround. The best fight that Astrea could have hoped for. He takes down all the tanks. A beautiful engagement. But he's still losing another base. Blink is done. Gets a full medevac. And now Astrea's all in. It's all or nothing for the Protoss. Has to make this work. But he's running into a tank line. The boys are being pulled. The army comes back home. Bunny has more than enough to defend. Sold EMP. GG gets called, and Bunny will take game number 1. GG. Solid play there from Bunny. Taking that first game. From almost the beginning, he was actually, it felt like he was in the driver's seat, really abusing the fact that that Astrea had gone for a robo opener. We saw Bunny going for some drop play, just pulling his opponent apart, just keeping Astrea on the back foot. Yeah, really solid play there from Bunny in that first game. Now, I want to believe, though, that Astrea, he can bring it back. What's important is that Astrea did go for a proxy gateway into a robo. I don't expect to see the same opener from Astrea again this series. You know, he's more than willing to go for a Twilight Council or a Stargate opener. to go for something more standard. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Bunny. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Protoss representing Macherino Esports. It is Astrea. Bunny looking strong, looking powerful in game number 1, but also abusing some of the weaknesses, or just some things that Astrea was lacking just because of his build of choice. Basically, Astrea's immobility in game 1, as he was being pulled apart left and right, having a hard time keeping up with Bunny. But again, a lot of that did come down to the opener, and we'll see what Astrea goes for here in game number 2. Guresvan, not a bad map for a Stargate opener. Last time we saw a PvT on this map, it was Stats versus Ryung, and Stats had gone for a Twilight Council instead. We'll see. We'll see what Astrea is fond of, as he goes for a Probe Scout. It's going to be as annoying as possible. Does confirm that Bunny's going for a Rax Expand. So very economic from Bunny, just like last game. And he is going to be delayed a little bit further. So actually a pretty big delay on that expansion. Actually, he had gone into a surplus of 100 minerals by the time he threw it down. So nice disruption by Astrea, being very annoying with this probe. Very annoying. Meanwhile, Bunny a little bit paranoid. I don't blame him. Remember, at the very beginning of game 1, Astrea did go for a proxy gateway, so Bunny, he's looking. He's checking for proxy gates, just in case. So we can shut it down in case he were to go up against it again. As Astrea is going for a Twilight Council opener. Okay. So again, something more standard this time. Twilight Council does give him access to Blink, and as a result, Astrea should gain map control. Have a much easier time keeping up with Bunny. Depth does shade in, does take down an SCV. Doesn't really slow down the CC any further. As we have a 1-1-1 setup here from Bunny. I believe Astrea didn't get a scout off. He didn't get into the main. Not fully aware of what's going on. As Bunny is setting up for a mine drop. Mine production has commenced, and Starport is on the way. Now, of course, Bunny hasn't seen the tech yet, but upon getting into the main base, there we go. He gets eyes on the Twilight Council. He sees it researching. He is aware of the Blink. So a good amount of information gathered here from Bunny. He's aware of what's going on. Hellion slips into the natural, gets one probe. And he's just going to try to go all the way into the main base. Basically, he's getting a read on how many gateways there are. Oh my god. As he gets 2 more probes. Wow. 3 in total. Not too bad. And actually, as soon as that Hellion goes down, we do throw down additional gateways. Okay. Astrea going 4-gate Blink Stalker. Very cheeky moves here. I thought it was going to go for a 2-gate into a 3rd, which is what he had revealed. But again, as soon as that scout goes down, 2 more gateways, we're going to be very aggressive. Astrea, he's done being the punching bag. He doesn't want to be the defender. Not anymore. Now, 4-gate Blink Stalker is very aggressive. It can snowball out of control. We need to take this very seriously. Bunny has no idea what's going on. He's in the dark. He does have a Reaper alive. And he is going to slip into the natural. But he doesn't see too much. Oh, but here we go. Mind Drop does slip into the main. Is spotted by Astrea. He does react in time. And Astrea's moving out with his entire army. What do we have at home to defend? We have a bunker in the low ground. We have one tank in the main. Not the best SimCity, though. Not the best positioning here with the production. As we dive into the main base, tank is going to be able to hold the line, though. SCVs are being pulled. Oh, again, Bunny just caught a little bit unawares. Marines are going down. Second tank comes out, though. And with two tanks, Bunny should have an easier time defending. Oh, a lot of lost mining time. And here we go. We dive on top of the tanks. One goes down. The other is unsieged. Big pig off here for Astrea. Tank does get back up and running. Does get repaired. And Astrea has to be very careful with how he maneuvers. As he warps in another round of Stalkers. There are two mines waiting in the main. But Astrea, he blinks into the natural, takes down the bunker. Again, the tank was slightly misplaced and wasn't able to cover the natural. SCVs are going down. I mean, this is also the advantage of Gressvan, is that the natural is very large. So Astrea has a lot of room to work with. So he trades with the Marines. Good blinks as well. Barely losing any of his Stalkers. They're very low, but they're still alive. That's what matters. Bunker has been replaced. Astrea rotating into the main. He does get eyes on those Widow Mines. Oof, does take a mine to the face. Raven! Raven goes down as well. There's a tank in the natural. No tank in the main. Up. Just now pops out. But Astrea, he dives on it. Dives on that tank. He gets another warping of Stalkers. Tank does rock up from the natural, but this is just far too much damage. Astrea has control of the main. He has snowballed out of control. Takes down every single SCV. The Marines, the Ravens. And even if Astrea backs off, as he will, a little bit of miscontrol, the Prism goes down to the turret. But even with Bunny holding on here, he is miles behind. He's down to 21 SCVs compared to the 45 of Astrea. And Astrea, he's not done. He's getting a couple of Marines here and there. He's expanding, taking a third, working on charge, rebuilding his Prism. And this is just too much. Again, Gressvan, there's just so much room here in the natural to work with. So much room in the main as well. Bunny could not keep up. A hot pick up there on that mortar was impressive. Observer will go down. Nice couple of moments here for Bunny. But as Bunny moves out, we have a Prism slipping into the main base. Focusing down more workers, crippling the economy here of a Bunny even further. Stim is not even done. It is about to finish up in a couple of seconds. The drop! Oof. Bunny will preserve that medevac. Is moving out. Bunny, he feels pretty all in at this point. There's a lot of pressure on Bunny to do some counter damage. He has 4 tanks. That's a lot of tanks. But half of his army's getting caught out. He needs to consolidate his forces, needs to bring everything together. There's another Marine falls. And Astrea back at home. He's got a massive amount of charge loss. He's got a Colossi. He is ready to collapse on this army. Doesn't want to run into these siege tanks, though. Does have to respect them. Boys are being pulled. Because, again, Bunny is just all in. The boys are not here yet. As Astrea's just, confirming the all-in by going for a Zealot warping across the map. Those are Zealots that aren't at home, by the way. Uh-oh. It's all or nothing for Bunny. It all comes down to this. overcharge popped prematurely. Here we go, Bunny just going to try to rotate over towards the natural. There is no shield battery in position. Tanks are caught unsieged. One tank goes down, big volleys on the Colossi. Colossi are going to fall. Does Bunny have enough? The Zelts are getting on top of the tanks. And it looks like Astrea will hold. At the same time, he's across the map. GG gets called, and Astrea ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Astrea with a hidden 4-gate Blink Stalker opener was able to just snowball out of control, pull Bunny apart this time, turn the tables on the Terran, and be the aggressor. Successfully, I might add. And yeah, really well done, really well executed by Astrea. And now we have an ace match. We're going all the way to game number 3, which is going to be taking place on Royal Blood. Oh boy. Here we go. It all ends here. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Macherino Esports. It is Astrea. And again, Astrea just waiting until the scout was killed before throwing down those additional gateways. I'm pretty sure Bunny was kind of lured into a false sense of security. He was not expecting the 4-gate Blink Stalkers to get across the map, and it very quickly snowballed out of control. It's very important to actually make that happen as well. Astrea, there was a lot of pressure on him to snipe a tank, to get the depots, get the bunker as well, before Bunny mustered up a large enough defense. Made sure to keep the army low and to maintain control. Yeah, GG. GG, very well played. And now we're getting into Royal Blood. And I mentioned this before in Hero vs. Stats. We do have some goal bases, and these are commonly taken in PvP and PvT. I say commonly, more commonly than any of the other matchups, so that could come into play at some point. Not saying it will, but that's an option. It is a feature of Royal Blood. Outside of that, the rush distance by ground is relatively straightforward. Can lead to some really aggressive plays, especially when it comes to 2-base all-ins from the Terran side of things. This center location is very wide open, and if Bunny gets across the map here with the 2-base all-in with tanks, if he's able to wedge himself between the 3rd base and the natural, it can be really difficult to regain control of this area and to fight back against the Terran. So we have seen some really strong and potent all-ins on this map, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of direction we head in. Ooh, as Bunny gets across the map with the SV, but he does get spotted. The bunker should not finish. Bunny was just trying to be a little bit cheeky. But the probe is able to keep up. Oh, really good movement though out of Bunny. Able to get onto the other side of the bunker. Being very cheeky. And it does force a second probe out here from Astrea. The Reaper has arrived, and it will keep the SCV alive. The bunker, is it going to finish? Oh! Reaper just trying to dance here with this Adept. Oh, and it will not complete. Very close, though. Nice moves from both players, but Astrea does force a cancel, shuts down the Reaper as well. Did the Reaper see the tech? It did, okay. Just barely before going down. Twilight Council was spotted. Oh, interesting. Again, another Twilight Council opener. Now, just because it's a Twilight Council doesn't mean it has to be Blink. It could be... Sorry, it is going to be Blink. Doesn't mean it has to be 4-gate Blink. Could be 2-gate Blink into a fast 3rd. It could be 3-gate just for map control into a bit of a later 3rd base. Astrea has options. As Bunny once again went for a Rax Expand. Very economic. Getting into his 1-on-1. hasn't really diverted from his opener. Consistent, to say the least. And we have confirmation it is going to be a 2-gate opener from Astrea. Sorry, Blink 2-gate into a 3rd base, so very economic this time. And that is going to be spotted by Bunny. He does get eyes on the fast 3rd. And now, Bunny, he can rest easy. Now he knows that his opponent isn't going to be anywhere near as aggressive as last game. It means that Bunny is going to be safe in the early game. But this also puts pressure on Bunny. It's like, okay, my opponent is cutting corners, my opponent is being really greedy. It's going to be on Bunny here to stop him. As the Hellion and Adept do go blow for blow. Bunny is going to be building up his forces. Basically, Astrea is going to take the role of the defender. Bunny, the role of the aggressor. As Astrea, he's just going for a scout. Hallucination comes in and gets eyes on the 3-1-1 setup. The Raven as well. The lack of medevacs, the lack of drop play. Now Astrea knows he doesn't have to worry about some mine drop coming in, for example. As we are just rushing into Stim. Again, a big reason for this is because Bunny knows he doesn't have to prioritize tank production early on. Oh, so it's going to be very bio-heavy here. Marauders on the way. No Widowmines, no tanks, not yet. As Astrea is just trying to maintain map control, just keeping his stalkers out while he saturates his 3rd base. Meanwhile, Raven is coming in. Going to be getting a couple of workers. Going to be disrupting the economy in some way. And also scouting the main base as well. He gets eyes on the gateways. He also gets eyes on the Templar Archives. Very important here from Bunny. This also tells him that he doesn't need to, like, preserve energy for disables. There are no Colossi. Astrea is going to be reliant on Storms instead as the splash damage. Of course, Ravens, they can still be impactful in these fights with an anti-armor missile, for example. But again, those disables won't be as crucial. As Bunny is going to sneak out with a double drop. Astrea, there is a blind spot here on the right-hand side.
Research.
Oh, he's a Diva Joy. But he does have an observer here on the left. He has pylons as well, but over on the right-hand side, he's a little bit more exposed. Pylon is about to finish up. Astrea, he will not spot the drop. Storm is done, by the way. Just getting ahead of time. Here comes the drop, but ooh, big storm on the army. Astrea does defend. Stalkers back off. The main army of Bunny's moving out. And here we go. This is his chance. A big storm. Oh my god! Massive storm on the Bioforce. Raven goes down. And we still have more storms where that came from. As Astrea is bullying Bunny back. Baits out the mine shots. Bunny, he was trying to snowball out of control, but things very quickly escalate in favor of Astrea. Bunny has to back up. He has to respect this position. Gonna be going for a double drop instead. As he moves out, Astrea, he's thinking about moving in. Does get spotted. Oh, and Bunny does not have a lot at home to defend. He has to come back. He has potential for a surround. Immortals are joining the fray. Bunny has to be careful. Astrea, he does expand. He's taking a 4th. He's getting a 2nd Robo and a Robotic Spay. He's getting into double Colossus or even double Disruptor production. As Astrea thwarts this drop. And Bunny, he's getting his 3rd base on location. Bunny has some catching up to do. Economically, I should say. He is spotted by the Observer. Astrea rotating with him. At the same time, Prism is going to be threatening the main base of Bunny. God, and that's a large Marauder army as well. Like, Astrea has to respect it. As the Prism slips into the main. Server goes down. 2 Colossi being made at a time. Zealots come in. We do go for a big warp in as well. And Bunny does not have a lot. He turns everything back around. Oh, the Ghost Academy is delayed. Could even be cancelled. It shouldn't be. Yes, Bunny does at least hold on to it. At the same time, another Zealot run by into the into the third base as well. Bunny being pulled apart. His economy wasn't amazing to begin with. Now he loses 7 SCVs. Lost mining time in the main and in the third. Oh, good pickoff. Gets a High Templar. But as he gets dragged over towards the right-hand side, Astrea moves in on the left. Widowmine does get baited out. Colossus have arrived. And again, Astrea, he's just enjoying his 4th base. He's been left untouched, undisturbed. Outside of the Raven harass earlier, there's been no drop play. Bunny, he just hasn't been able to get into any drop play. He's been trying. Oof. He takes another big storm to the face. Widowmine's not quite in position to defend. They're covering the natural, they're not covering the third. As Astrea's taking a 5th. Like, you don't need it, Papi, but he's going for it anyway. Oh. Another High Templar goes down for free. Not a bad pickoff. Now, Bunny is up in army supply. Like, this is still a pretty hefty army. It's just he has to avoid the storms. He has to avoid the storms, lands the EMPs, he can take a fight. Oh, as another Zealot round by once again comes in. Storm as well. Oh my god. Bunny has to focus on his attack, but up a ramp into Storm? It's just not going to happen. Big EMPs though. He's getting on top of the Colossus. One Colossus goes down. Storm's just going to be zoning away Bunny. Big warp in into the main. Time is working against Bunny right now. As these Zealot run-bys have just been a thorn in Bunny's side. They are winning Astrea the game. Constantly crippling the economy. Keeping Bunny low, keeping him down. Oh, can we finish? Up! Oh, we just barely will. Another warp in finishes, and every single SV at the third base goes down at the same time. Astrea pushes on forward. Nova goes off. Here's a storm in the chamber. Zealots finally get cleaned up in the main. But again, Bunny, he just can't keep up. Not anymore. Astrea has done it. Again, these Zealot run-bys have been the MVPs. Just constantly keeping Bunny back, keeping supply back at home, disrupting the economy, slowing down his macro. And Astrea's maxed. He is up 80 supply. Crazy. And it all comes down to this. Bunny, he's all in. He's on 2 bases. But he doesn't even have any SCVs to pull. Down to 30 workers. It's all or nothing for Bunny. If the stars align, he can maybe take a fight, but... And here comes Astrea. Decent Nova gets 2 Marauders. That's all he needs. Just decent Novas. Zealot Rambai catches reinforcements. Gets a Ghost. And we're just pushing on for decent EMPs. The Vikings are going ham, but GG gets called. It's not enough, and Astrea will take the series 2-1. Qualifying for GSL Code S. GG. Congratulations to Astrea. He had a rough start to the series. He had a rough start. Bunny was popping off in game number 1. But here in game 2 and game 3, Astrea, he found his stride. was able to gain control of the map, gain momentum as well. Really early on. I do think a crucial moment here, if you remember, it was when Bunny went for a double drop on the right hand side, and he was moving with his main army through the center, and he took like a big storm to the face. He lost his Raven prematurely as well. He lost a lot of momentum, and from that moment, Astrea, he was up economically because of the third, and he had map control as well. He had map control. He was transitioning into Colossi behind it. Like, that was, it felt like the moment where Astrea kind of took control of the game and never really let go of it. Remember, Bunny, he was trying to go for jobs, he was trying to move out, but because Astrea had map control, he was just constantly threatening these attacks or going for these zealot run-bys, keeping Bunny busy. And yeah, really well done, really well played. GG, well played. With that, we are halfway through the night. We are halfway through the night. Only 3 more best of 3s left to go. And we can switch our scenes over and have a look at how the night has been progressing so far. We've already seen hero stats and... oh, that is not updated. One moment. Hero stats and Astrea. Our 3 Protoss players have advanced on here in this, or through the qualifiers into Code S over their opponents. Really well done. And Bunny, he has another chance. He's going to be going up against Classic in the next qualifying match, as Classic has been patiently waiting in that lower finals match. After that, we have Beyond versus Nightmare, and then the loser of Beyond versus Nightmare against Ragnarok. So we have 3 best of 3s left for the night. There are still more qualifying matches, but we're going to be casting them tomorrow. 6 today, 6 tomorrow. Oh boy. So with that, we're halfway through. We're going to be going on a short break. I need to rest my voice a little bit. Need to get some water. Need to take a break. So enjoy the duct tapes. Again, as a reminder, if you enjoy GSL, if you want to support GSL, !GSL in the chat, you will gain a link to the Patreon of this tournament, where you can support them. You can gain access to these replay packs. You can get even more. They do like interviews and additional content. They have photo shoots for the players, so you can gain access to that content if you wish. So that is available for you. Otherwise, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, Bunny versus Classic. See you soon.